Hi guys, it's me, Charles Norm from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. So if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, you want to use our software, and we base it on your academic information, your SAT, ACT scores, your sport you play, the level you think you can participate, and we will show you all the schools you academically qualify to attend that have your sport and offer athletic scholarships. So we always encourage you guys to use our software. It is at no cost. And so I always give you information down below. I give you a code, I give you instructions for how to use the code. Please go ahead and sign up for the software. So today's video I'm going to do, it's very, very easy to get an athletic scholarship. It's simple, it's easy, and if that's all you're doing, I'm going to say it's a dumb way to go about it. So let me go through this and the reason I'm doing this video. So I get accused a lot of times from, there's just some people in the world that are always looking for a reason to discredit or nullify what you're doing. And it's not necessarily competitors, although that happens sometimes. Sometimes it's just general people in the world that just want to say, oh, they're just doing X, Y, Z. So I got accused a couple of times, and that's how I know we're kind of being successful for this YouTube thing, of just trying to profit and make getting an athletic scholarship sound more difficult than it really is to do, right? And so I'm just trying to get you to use our software for either one, A, it's to profit for, but I don't charge for it, or B, I'm just trying to grow my company so I can make my company more profit. And I will say, ding, ding, that one is correct. I do want you guys to use our software, which I think is fantastic, but I do want to grow my company. And I can do more. I've got all these great ideas that I want to do, and the only way I'm going to be able to do it is if I can grow this piece of the company, get you guys to use our software, and then I can go do some other things and give back again. The number one thing I'm going to tell everybody out here, because I try to, when I do these videos, blend my business journey along with some ideas and things you should be thinking about if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship. The more people you can help, and the fact that you want to help, that money has nothing to do with it. The people that you want to help, it's going to help you grow in ways you cannot even imagine at this point in time. Yes, I'm thinking, when I start this thing, I just want to get this software to people. Maybe I make some money and I have some side money. I've retired from my original job and I just wanted to build something up and try to create a legacy for my family. That was the goal. And then initially, when I was charging for it, we were getting some traction finally after I retired. I did this for a couple of years. I wrote the software about 2 or 3 years before I retired, and I was relying on other people. When I retired, I started going to the meetings. I started outreach with the software to find out why we weren't growing as fast, and I figured it out. And so that's the other thing I was going to tell you. It's got to be something you really, really, really want to do, because it's going to take a while to get where you're trying to get to. But anyway, I guess my bottom line for this thing is, if you try to do something for money or fame or to be noticed, whether it's trying to get an athletic scholarship or you're playing sports because you want to be a big person on campus or you like all of the attention and all that, if you don't love it, you're going to burn out. Somebody's going to pass you up at some point, because people that love something will work extra hard. They'll take a few hits, they'll get knocked back a few steps, and then they'll keep going forward because they want to do it more than they want the stuff that comes along with it if they do it really well. And you can't overcome that. There's a few people in the world that do something, especially in something like sports, where it's so competitive, where there's so many people and there's only so few slots available compared to the number of people that want those positions, that they're gonna pass you up, because the coaches will see it, the fans will see it, teammates will see it, and you will, if you're not in love with what you're doing, you will not necessarily make it because somebody will be trying to take your spot. So I just want to put that out there. And the same thing in business. If you do business just to make money, you will have to go into a commodity business. And so we're not in a commodity business. You do not need to use our software to get an athletic scholarship. And so I'm going to tell you what those steps you can take minus our software are, so that we can make it really clear. And I've done this before, that's why I was a little surprised, which means the person didn't go back and look at some of my older videos, but I'm going to run through it right now. So the number one thing, the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure you took the right classes in high school. All you have to do, everybody, walk into your counselor's office, your student counselor's office, and say, I want to play D1, NCAA Division I sports. I need to take the courses that allow me to do that. That's all you have to do. Make sure you've done that and you're good to go. Now D2, it takes a few courses less to play at the NCAA level, but you don't want to even worry about that. You don't even want to get into that world. You want to say, I want to play NCAA Division I, and that will qualify you for everybody else. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you have to go and get into the eligibility centers. So there's one for NCAA and there's one for NAIA. Get in both of them. Why do you need to be in the eligibility centers? What's going to happen is if you're good enough, you're going to get yourself some exposure. You're going to be at a camp or a showcase or a combine. You're going to be at some kind of event where you want to try to get evaluated. And what's going to happen is if you're playing well or if word's out about you, those coaches are going to go and they're going to go look in the eligibility centers to see if you're on track to graduate and be in position to be offered an athletic scholarship and be able to accept it. So they're going to check that. And if you haven't done that, it doesn't mean they will dismiss you, but it puts you ahead of the people that didn't do it. A lot of people wait until their 11th, 12th grade, their junior, senior years to go and get in the eligibility centers. Get in it today. I don't care if you're a 9th grader and you're playing frost soft. You go get in the eligibility centers, okay? So that's the second thing you want to do. You need to take the ACT and SAT. Why do you need to take the ACT and SAT? I know right now because of the COVID situation, you didn't necessarily have to take it the last couple of years. But that, again, I've done videos on this. We don't want to be the shortcut people, right? Yes, you could probably get away with it right now. So if you're a senior right now, technically you don't have to take it. But here's what everyone forgets about the ACT and SAT. If you don't take it, the school that doesn't mean that the college doesn't still use that to see if you qualify to enter their school. That's number one. Number two, a coach will say, hey, this kid took the ACT or SAT, this kid didn't. They're dead equal in talent and what we're looking for. I'm going to take the kid that took the ACT and SAT because it shows they'll go the extra mile to position themselves and do the work that is needed that I want them to do when they get here, because it's going to be a lot of work to come play for us. I want the kid that did the extra work. So take the ACT, SAT, and then after this year, if you're a 9th, 10th, or 11th grader, you need to take it anyway, because I don't know if they're going to extend out the ability not to take it. Now, I will say this. It looks like the ACT and SAT are kind of fading out for colleges in general, but it's not there yet. And the NCAA has not set for moving past 2023 that they're going to allow you to just not take it. So I would recommend you go ahead and take it. Next on the line, good grades. This is something that I think a lot of the kids will look at. Now, if you go to NCAA Eligibility Center, go in and look. They have what's called a sliding scale, which means we're taking your SAT, ACT scores, and then your GPA, and then where you line up in there, it's going to tell you whether you're eligible to play. So you can look on there. So they've had the sliding scale for quite a while, and it keeps changing. And the way the scale, your GPA, SAT, ACT scores keep going up for the requirement for you to play. So go look at that. But something bigger than that, if you can get a 3.5 and above, what that does for you, because 90% of the sports are called equivalency sports, which means you're probably not going to get a full ride athletic scholarship. So unless you're a male that plays football and or basketball at the D1 level, or a female that plays volleyball, basketball, tennis, you're not necessarily going to get a full ride scholarship, and both of those are at the D1 level. Now, for some of those sports, D2, they'll still give you a full ride, and you know, sometimes with NAIA they'll do it too, but don't count on it. They don't have to. And I think that's a really important piece also to understand, is that if you're in an equivalency sport, which is every sport that I didn't just mention for that gender, you're going to get a partial, most likely, because they only have so much money for so many people that they need on the team. And so they're going to split that up. So if you have the 3.5 and above, what that ends up doing for you is they can start giving you academic money. So again, put yourself in the school and the coach's position. I've got two kids here again. One of them has this 3.5 GPA. They took the SAT, ACT. I've got the other kid that maybe they took the SAT, ACT, but they've got a 2.8 GPA. I can go to my admission office for the kid that's 3.5 and say, hey, I want to get this kid partial athletic scholarship money, and I also want to get them some academic money. Which kid do I want to take? I'm going to take the other kid, all things being equal. Let's just say everything else is equal. Yes, if you're much better and you're the 2.8, maybe I just go, hey, I'm going to bring the kid over. If they can make up the difference in the money, fine. But if college costs $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a year, this other kid's going to be in great shape. Remember, one of the big things I talk about here is you don't want to leave college with debt, or as little debt as possible. I'm watching it right now. People my age, I'm retired, did this thing. I've got people in my age group still paying back student loan debt. Does it mean they were lazy? Does it mean that they didn't buckle down and pay it off right away? And back when I was, college wasn't quite as expensive. No, what happened was life happened. You got a job, you start having a family, you need to buy a car and houses and all this kind of stuff. You want to take trips, you want to enjoy your life as you're journeying through it, and you're responsible for other people. Then you start saying, okay, I'm going to try to pay this thing off, but I don't know if I can. And a lot of people just went straight into their careers and never got into a family, and you would have thought they would have paid it off, but what they did was they did the opposite. They went back to school and got more debt because they're trying to go up in their company or in their world. They're trying to get their masters and their PhDs because it's going to let them make more money. But the more money you make, for a lot of people, most people, I would say in the U.S., your lifestyle goes up to match your income, and so they're still trying to pay that off. So that's something you want to try to do, is to eliminate that debt. So you want to do that, and then the final thing is you have to get exposure, and this is the one where I think a lot of people miss out. You need to get exposure against other college level athletes. It doesn't matter how many combines and showcases and viewing tournaments and challenges, whatever else you're going to. They can see you play, but if you're only playing against people that you're just better than, that those other competitors aren't at the collegiate level, that coach can't really, or a scout or whoever is going to be looking at you, they can't really evaluate. What they want to see is you go against somebody that's better. And so this is one of the reasons I tell you guys, if you're playing high school and things don't seem to be going well, you know, you could average more points, or you could get more yards, or you can get more, whatever else you think you can do, and the coach is kind of messing you up a little bit, you can always go out to one of these other events and make up for that. You just need to let the schools know where you are and go to the events that they're going to be at, but just try to make sure you're playing against competition that's at your level. So let's go over it again. You want to take the right courses, right, at high school to make sure you qualify. You want to go get into the eligibility centers so they can see you're on track and that you've done the extra work that puts yourself ahead of the other competitors. You want to make sure you take the SAT and ACT, even though I know if you're a senior right now, you don't necessarily have to play, but the college may not let you in. So you want to make sure you secure that position and you don't give them any reason to go the other direction with another player other than you. You want to make sure you keep your grades up so that it puts you again in a position, if you're in an equivalency sport, that they can give you academic money and athletic money. That bridges the gap, and then they don't have to worry about you dropping out because you can't afford to make up that difference, or you have to take out a bunch of loans and put yourself in debt for the rest of your life. And then you have to get exposure, and the best ways to do it, just stay. If you're at a high school and you're happy there, you're with your friends, you're a star on the team, and maybe you guys don't win league, or you don't win, you know, the state championship, whatever it is you think you should do. You don't have to jump from school to school to school. Sometimes if you're at a pro level and someone gives you a great offer to go maybe to a private school or something, you're gonna get a better education. Hey, do whatever you need to do. That's your family's choices, but you don't have to do that. One of the things you want to do, because that high school coach also is going to be kind of indebted to you for staying around, because they know you can leave and go somewhere else. They're going to speak up for you, because at some point the college coach is going to contact your high school coach. Even if you got a great travel club program, they'll contact them too, but your high school coach, because what they want to learn there is, hey, how was this kid's attitude? How were they on campus? How did they conduct themselves when things didn't go right, things went wrong, when you had to clamp down and they could have gotten more stats, but you told them, hey, we got to play this way or that way. That coach will go to bat for you, especially if you have a good attitude. And this goes also for you parents. I know I hear you guys all the time. We have a couple of kids in the neighborhood. My son helps train a couple of kids there in basketball, and we went to the game, and some of the parents are just out. And people that I know, I'm just always surprised that people that are just generally good, nice people, man, they get to these games and get in the stands and they just act out a little bit. So be the parent that is a good parent, because they're going to ask about you. What is your attitude? Are you giving them a hard time? Not that you can do anything, because once your kid goes to college, you got no say. Your kid's an adult. College coach doesn't have to listen to anything you say. You want to threaten to pull your kid. They're not going to. They don't care about all that stuff. You don't want anybody abusing your kid, but you can't control anything else out there. Your kid's going to have to compete like everybody else, and they're going to have to follow the direction of the coach. College coaches don't play like that, because their livelihood is on the line. For a lot of high school coaches, they're also teachers, or they have academic degrees, and so they can just teach. They're coaching maybe for the love of it, or it's a little extra stipend. I don't know. You know, everybody has their own reasons, but a college coach, they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year if they can win, because they can keep graduating up, and they're not going to let your one kid buck that trend. They're going to get where they need to get to. And so if you put all of that together, that's how you get an athletic scholarship. So again, you got to have the talent. That's the one thing no one can fix for you. And when we talked about the exposure and you go into these events or you're playing your high school team, you got to perform, man. That's the bottom line. And this is why I also brought up competing against other collegiate level kids. I've seen kids that just destroy their league. They're doing everything. They seem like the king of the hill, and then they go against equal competition because they're in a big fish in a small pond, and they broaden out, and you start to see how many really good athletes there are in the world, how many good sports people there are in the world. And now what happens when you match the person that matches you or slightly better than you? What do you do then? And then you see a lot of people crumble. Those numbers drop and they can't do anything because they can't, it's not easy for them anymore. And so the last thing I'm going to say about this for you guys, try to get in some pickup worlds or get into a place where you're training with someone that's clearly better than you, especially if you're in high school. Go find a collegiate or a professional thing and see if you can squeeze in there. Go snag some balls for them, or give them a pass, or go out in the field and make some catches, or you know, whatever you need to do. Just go, hey, can I work out with you? I just trying to see how you do it at this level if I'm at that level. I don't care what city or town you're in. Anybody that came from there that went to college or as a pro, they come home in the off season and they work out. Find out where they are and go in there and get out, be at the park. Just happen to be there and go, hey, can I snag those for you? I see you're working on this and that. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. And then don't necessarily look for something back. Just pay attention to how they work out. And that can make a big difference in your life. Okay, so we've done all of that. I've just shown you guys you do not need our software to get an athletic scholarship, or at least to put yourself in position. You can do all that on your own. But if you do it only that way, I'm going to say that's a dumb way to do things. Because here's what we want to do. And here's what you can't do with everything I just talked to you about. You can't get yourself into the school that makes the most sense for you necessarily. And you can't do that. And here's the reason why you can't do that. Because you don't know all of your options and opportunities. And that's where our software comes in. That's why I designed the software. You use our software, put your information in. We're going to show you all the schools that you qualify to attend. And so not just the schools that saw you at the combine, the showcase, the viewing tournament, or saw you at your school, or read your stats, or the newspaper clipping about you and was interested in you, and they send you a letter in the mail, or maybe they come out and see you. Those are schools that outreach to you. I want you to outreach to all the schools you qualify for. Let them know where you are, that you're interested in their school because you reviewed their school. That is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a group of kids right now that in the future will start to go out and put themselves in a position to have a great life because they're where they want to be, not where somebody recruited them and brought them in. It's great to be recruited, and maybe that is the perfect school for you, but you don't know if you don't know all the other options and opportunities you have, do you? So that's what we're trying to do, and that's our difference. So yes, I do want the software to grow. I know we're growing, and we're growing fast. I don't know if it's this or if it's something else, but if you look down below, I give you a code. I give you instructions on how to use the code. It's called AthleticSOS. And yes, if you guys go there, we're going to grow. Company becomes more valuable. We are going to start having, really soon, we're starting to get some sponsors that want to come in there. They're going to sponsor you. I'm being very careful on who I let sponsor, but we're going to move forward regardless. And I got some cool other things that I want to bring for the younger kids from ages 5 to 8. And I want to get that built out, but it's going to take some funding to do it. And I don't want to take on any more funding from people. I tried to do that with AthleticSOS, and it got me in a little bit of trouble. Everybody tries to direct you where they want you to go, and then my idea of giving it no cost to you guys would just, you saw people's heads explode. And I go, it will still work. And they go, you don't know anything about business, and they may be right, but I'm going to do the way I want to do it, and that's the final piece of this thing. If you want to have a good life, if you want to have a life where you don't feel always put upon, that you're on the internet screaming about stuff, this person did that, they did this, they're against us, they hate this, I don't like them, you know, all these different camps. Here's how you do it. You have something else planned outside of what you're doing that's going to benefit you and your family, that you can grow into, that if you get stuck over here, if somebody makes a call in an office somewhere and says, hey, we don't want Johnny or Susie anymore, fire them or kick them off the team or do this or do that to them, you go, okay, I got it, I'm cool. I got this other thing going too, and you're going to be building that other thing up. And so that's where I want you guys to start feeling out, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? And maybe you don't know right now, right? You're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. You don't know right now, but you want to be thinking in that way. And we're going to start right here and right now with this athletic scholarship thing. You're going to school. Maybe you're on frost off and you want to play varsity eventually. You got to do the workout. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to be playing that sport. You're going to have to get with the bigger, older kids so that you can figure out, how do I make that coach pull me up and put me on that team? And then you want to go play at the collegiate level. So what do I need to do to become a college level player? I need to find out all of the schools that I qualify for. I need to reach out. I'm going to be different than everyone else. I'm planning this out. In the meantime, I'm building up my network. Even if I'm on frost off, I didn't make varsity yet, I'm still putting people around me, good people that I'm networking with. These are the people who are going to be my friends moving forward. Yeah, I know I have the friends from elementary, junior high, and I got to high school. I'm not going to throw them and abandon them necessarily right now, but eventually you're going to grow away from them. It's going to happen automatically because you're going to get yourself around positive, good people that are moving forward in their life. You don't know where it's going to end up, but that's going to be the difference in your life. And so that's where you're starting off right now. So there's something happening over here. You still got these other people, and you guys will be doing some stuff outside of the sport, outside of school, outside. You'll be in a good position there. You're going to do the same thing when you get to college. You're going to start filming yourself in high school and your workouts, your journey. You're going to put that down, videotape it, get yourself so people can see what you're doing and the hard work you're doing. And maybe those people transfer when you go to college. I'm a college coach. I may look and I say, hey, Johnny, Susie, I looked at the social media. They got a pretty big following. I got this other kid over here, might be slightly better than Johnny and Susie, but you know what? I'm going to take Johnny and Susie because those people that are following them in high school are going to follow them in college. You see how we're thinking now? We're not like everybody else. So now I get picked up by that college, and then I'm going to grow that again. I'm going to show my journey through the college years. I'm not going to show the inside stuff necessarily. You don't have to be so transparent that everyone knows your name, address, and where you live. You don't need all of that. You just put it down. This is my journey. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to do something cool. I'm going to show you so the truth behind how I'm feeling as I'm moving through. People want to connect with you. They want to get a personal connection with who you are and what you're going through because they're going through it. So they want to see that somebody else do. Everybody hides the warts and the growing pains of doing stuff. Same thing with business world. I'm learning as I'm sitting down and I'm with all these people that have done business before. This stuff's not easy, man. You get knocked upside the head. Nobody's around here to help you. Nobody understands what you're going through. You can't explain that to anybody. You just got to endure it. You got to want to do it, and it's got to be something you're in love with, and you're doing it because you want the freedom to make your own choices as you move forward. Okay, and then eventually you're going to leave school. That's why I said we always do everything in 10-year chunks. So if you're doing 10-year chunks now, that's 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, plus another 2 years. Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? I don't know. That's a great answer. How are you getting positioned for whatever that is going to be? Then you're going to do some of the things we just talked about. So anyway, so that's where I am. So I want to do this video for that reason. I just want to make sure I have something out there again. I know there's some other videos I did. You do not need to use AthleticSOS to get an athletic scholarship. You can do that on your own. But if you do use AthleticSOS, and you don't have to, but what we're trying to do is grow a group of people that don't even worry about why I created AthleticSOS, that they use the tool to their advantage, and then you're going to go back and you're going to help some other people out. Give, 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 and I'm going to tell you you're going to get it all back, but that's not why you do it. You do it anyway. If this whole thing's a flop, I know for the last 6 years, our software has helped a ton of kids. Now, not as many as I wish we had, and that's why I did the no-cost thing, but I know I'm helping people. So even if I don't make a dime off of it, I know in my heart that I did what I need to do to try to get to this level. And that's what I want you guys to do. And if we do that, this whole world changes. If you guys are the next generation that does that, you don't blame the people that came in front of you, you don't blame the government, you don't blame the other people that don't look like you or act like you or do anything like you. It doesn't matter, because all you want to do is see if you can be the best human being on this earth you could possibly be. And I promise you, you will not live a life of the blame game or the worry game or the stress game and all that kind of stuff, because life's going to throw stuff at you. But if you've got a plan, you got an exit ramp, you got okay, they're going to do this to me, it's okay, it's all cool, I'm going to try to get out of here at some point, but I'm not just going to run off the job. I mean, I ran into all this stuff when I was working, and so I saw people get so upset that they're up there and they're just fuming about stuff. And I would always go, after a while, after they calm down, I go, okay, let's start working on something you can do outside of this. Or how do you position yourself inside here to make sure that this person can't control what you're doing or not doing? All right, I'm rambling now. I don't want to do all of that. But I just want you guys to get that idea in your head that you want to be in control of your life, and that AthleticSOS, if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, is a part of that journey for you. And I want you to use it because that's why I built it. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. And if you want to keep playing, and you want to stay in the game, we're here to help you.